At my best friend's funeral, my phone buzzed. Text from her. I'm still alive. Don't trust my children. My hands went cold. For a moment, I thought the grief was playing tricks on me. But there it was. Name. Her number. Race. The woman lying in that casket. Froze. The choir kept singing, but everything around me muted. The sound of rain tapping on the roof. Soft sobs. Daniel, her son, standing at the podium, pretending to cry. Could barely breathe. I looked up, and Daniel was staring right at me. Not just a glance. A watchful, knowing look. My phone trembled in my palm. Was this some sick prank? Or was Grace really alive? Would you even believe a message like that? Hit subscribe if you dig for the truth. Only those hiding something would scroll past. I slipped the phone into my coat and kept my face blank. The pastor's voice faded behind me as my thoughts spun. Grace's last text before she died was a heart emoji. No warning. No goodbye. Now she's telling me not to trust her own children. When the service ended, people hugged me, whispering the same lines. She's in a better place. She loved you like a sister. I could barely respond. All I could think about was that message. As the coffin was lowered, I felt a chill crawl up my spine. The earth swallowed the last bit of her polished wood casket, and Daniel threw the first handful of dirt. His sister Melissa followed, quiet and pale. I noticed something strange. She wasn't crying. Her eyes looked scared. Like she wanted to say something but couldn't. After everyone left, I stayed behind. Alone, staring at Grace's grave. I typed back. Who is this? The message went through. No reply. Then 3 dots appeared on the screen. Typing. Waited. The dots vanished. Nothing. That night I barely slept. Every sound in the house made me jump. The rain had stopped, but thunder rolled in the distance. At exactly 2:17 a.m., my phone lit up again. Same number. Voice message. My heart pounded as I pressed play. Static. Then a faint voice. It was Grace. Don't let them find out, you know, she whispered. And then it cut off. The next morning I went to her house. Well, her mansion. Grace had worked her way out of nothing. We grew up in the same poor neighborhood. We used to share a single sandwich after school. Then one day she married a man twice her age, a real estate magnate, and everything changed. Money, fame, charity events, she had it all. But wealth didn't change her heart. At least not with me. Or so I thought. Her gate was open when I got there. Inside, the staff moved like shadows, packing up her things for the will reading later that day. I saw Daniel in the hallway, talking to a lawyer. He smiled when he saw me, but it didn't reach his eyes. Mom would have wanted you here, he said smoothly. I nodded, pretending calm. But something about his voice. Cold, practiced. Like someone used to getting away with lies. The will reading was quiet at first. The lawyer droned on. Money to the children, the house divided, cars, stocks. Then my name came up. To my dearest friend, the lawyer read. I leave the one thing that holds the truth. Everyone turned to look at me. The lawyer handed me a small silver key. No one said a word. Daniel's stare burned into me. Melissa looked away. I could almost hear Grace's voice in my head. Don't trust my children. That night I sat in her study. The same room where we used to drink wine and laugh until midnight. Now it was silent. Haunted. I searched every drawer until I found a small locked box under her desk. The key fit perfectly. Inside was a flash drive. And a sealed envelope with my name on it. My hand shook as I opened it. Just one line, written in her delicate handwriting. Play it somewhere safe. I plugged the flash drive into my laptop. Took a second to load. Then, Grace's voice filled the room. If you're hearing this, she said, it means they found out. Don't trust my children. They didn't just want my money. They wanted me gone. My stomach turned. Her voice was fragile, frayed, but alive. And then I noticed something strange. The file name had a timestamp. It was recorded one day after she supposedly died. Froze. Was this real? If Grace was alive when this was recorded, then who or what did we bury? My laptop screen dimmed. Grace's voice stopped, but her fear lingered. I sat there in her old study, frozen. Outside, the wind howled through the trees. Felt like she was still there, watching me. I replayed the message 3 times, hoping I'd misheard. But it was clear. She knew her children wanted her gone. And she said they found out. Found out what? I copied the audio to my phone and left immediately. The house felt wrong now, too quiet. As I stepped outside, I noticed a car parked across the street. Black, tinted windows, engine running. I looked once, then again, and the headlights turned off. I hurried to my car and drove away, heart hammering. Halfway home, my phone buzzed again. Private number. I didn't answer. Then a message appeared. Stop looking. My throat went dry. I didn't tell anyone. Not yet. Instead, I went through old texts between Grace and me, searching for clues. 2 weeks before she died, she wrote. If anything happens to me, remember what I told you about the children. I never replied. I thought she was just being dramatic. Now I wasn't so sure. That night I couldn't sleep again. Every sound in the apartment made me flinch. At 3:06 a.m., I heard glass shatter in the kitchen. Froze. The step. Low. Careful. I reached for my phone, no signal. The footsteps stopped outside my bedroom door. Silence. Then a whisper. Stop digging. Ran. By the time I called the police, whoever it was had vanished. They said it was probably a burglary attempt. But nothing was taken. Only one thing was moved, my laptop. The flash drive was gone. I sat on the floor shaking. The only proof I had, deleted. But they didn't know I had copied the audio to my phone. That was still safe. The next day Daniel called me. His tone was calm. How come? I heard someone broke into your place, he said. How did you? He cut me off. You shouldn't be alone right now. Let me send someone to keep you safe. The way he said it made my skin crawl. I lied. Told him I was fine. Then I hung up and drove straight to the police station. But when I tried to report what I had, the recording, the threats, the officer frowned. Ma'am, he said, according to our database, Grace Turner's body was cremated. The case is closed. I stared at him. Cremated. That was supposed to happen next week. He looked at me like I was the problem. I'm just telling you what's filed. Something was deeply wrong. I drove back to Grace's mansion. Melissa answered the door, eyes red and tired. She pulled me inside quickly. Why are you here? She whispered. I need to know what's going on, Melissa. Did your mother ever? She cut me off, tears welling up. Please, not here. She led me to the garden, behind the fountain where no cameras could see. She was alive, she said finally, her voice breaking. After the stroke, they said she was brain dead. But she wasn't. I heard her talking to the nurse. She begged Daniel not to let them pull the plug. I stared at her, numb. What do you mean, pull the plug? Melissa covered her face. He forged the signature. Told everyone it was her wish. He even bribed the doctor. I felt my stomach twist. Grace hadn't died naturally. She'd been killed. I showed Melissa the audio file. She gasped, covering her mouth. That's her. Oh my God. We sat in silence, shaking. Then I noticed movement through the kitchen window. Daniel, watching us. Go, Melissa whispered urgently. Before he knows what you found. I left through the side gate, heart racing. Halfway to my car, my phone buzzed again. Another message from Grace's number. They know you have it. I dropped the phone. It landed face up, the screen still lit. 3 dots appeared again. Typing. Then gone. I picked it up slowly, scanning the dark street around me. Someone was watching. That night, I drove out of town to a cheap roadside motel. No cameras, no questions. I locked the door, shoved a chair against it, and played the recording again. But this time, I noticed something new. In the background of the audio, faint but clear, the sound of machines beeping. Hospital machines. And someone saying, She's waking up. Then, a voice I didn't recognize. Sedate her again. Not yet. I paused it, rewound, played it again. Same words. Grace wasn't dead when that message was recorded. She was in a hospital. And someone made sure she stayed unconscious. The timestamp matched the day after her death certificate was filed. It all made sense now. The fake funeral. The missing records. The threats. Daniel had covered everything up. But why send me the text? Unless it wasn't Grace who sent it. Unless someone else was trying to warn me. I decided to find out. The next morning, I drove to the clinic where Grace had been treated. It was private, isolated, high-end, the kind of place where secrets stayed buried. At the front desk, I asked about Grace Turner's file. The nurse glanced at me nervously. "I'm sorry, ma'am. No record by that name." I leaned closer. "I know she was here. Room 203. The nurse's hands shook slightly. "Please, you need to go." I slid her a photo of me and Grace from years ago. She stared at it for a moment, then whispered, "Check the basement. But don't tell anyone I told you." The nurse's words echoed in my head. Check the basement. I waited until she walked away, then slipped down the corridor, past the elevator, toward the emergency exit stairs. The air grew colder with every step. The hospital's hum faded into silence. When I reached the basement door, it was locked. I pressed my ear to it. Nothing. Then footsteps above. Someone coming. I yanked a hairpin from my bag. Grace once taught me how to pick locks when we were teenagers, sneaking into the community center to watch free movies. Funny how that useless trick was saving me now. The lock clicked open. Inside, the hallway smelled like disinfectant and secrets. Rows of metal cabinets. Old files. Medical boxes stacked high. The lights flickered overhead, buzzing softly. I scanned the shelves. Letters, numbers, coded tags. Then I saw it. A box labeled Turner G. Grabbed it. Inside were papers, photos, and a patient wristband. Her name, her date of birth. And something else. Date of discharge, pending. But the signature underneath wasn't Grace's. It was Daniel's. My stomach flipped. At the back of the file was a signed request for immediate body release. It was dated before her official time of death. I could barely process it. He'd planned it. Every detail. Suddenly, I heard voices from the hallway. "Check downstairs." Froze. I stuffed the file into my bag and ran. The sound of boots echoed behind me. I pushed through the exit door into the alley, and didn't stop running until I reached my car. My hands shook as I turned the key. The rearview mirror showed two men stepping out of the hospital, scanning the street. They saw me. The tires screeched as I sped away. That night, I met Melissa at a diner 2 towns over. She looked like she hadn't slept in days. "I found her records," I said, sliding the file across the table. Her eyes widened. "Oh God. He really did it." He nodded. "And it's worse than we thought. He faked everything. The hospital. The death. Even the cremation." She covered her mouth, shaking. "I think she was trying to send that message to me," she whispered. "But Daniel took her phone before she died." We sat in silence as the rain hit the windows. The diner's neon light flickered against our faces, cold and trembling. Melissa looked up suddenly. "There's something you need to see." She pulled a small USB from her coat pocket. "I found this in Mom's jewelry box. It was hidden inside the lining." We plugged it into my laptop. Video file. The timestamp same as the audio message. Grace appeared on screen. Her face was pale, her eyes swollen from crying. "If this reaches you," she said, "then Daniel knows. He found the documents. He said if I change my will, he'll make it look like an accident. Please, don't let him win." The screen glitched, cutting to a new clip. Grace arguing with someone off camera. A man's voice. "Daniels. You're not thinking straight, mother," he said. "You're about to ruin our lives for strangers." "You mean people who actually need help?" Grace's voice trembled. Money can change more than just your lifestyle, Daniel. It can change the world. He stepped into view, furious. You're giving everything away, to women who couldn't keep their families together. You call that charity? The video cut off abruptly. Melissa sobbed quietly beside me. I couldn't speak. Grace's last moments were right there. Recorded. Hidden. Buried. Now we had proof. But proof meant danger. I backed up the file, sent it to myself, and hid copies in 3 different folders. If Daniel found out, we'd both be next. 2 nights later, my doorbell rang. It was him. Daniel. He smiled like nothing was wrong. Can I come in? Every instinct screamed no. But if I refused, he'd know I was hiding something. I forced a smile. Sure. He stepped in, glancing around. Nice place, he said softly. Bit small though. I always told Mom you deserved more. Yeah, I replied. She was generous. He smirked. Oh, she was. Maybe a little too generous. I felt the tension coil in my stomach. He walked around slowly, studying every corner. Funny, he said. How close you 2 were. Almost like family. He looked at me. She trusted you, didn't she? I met his gaze. She trusted the right people. His smile faded. Then quietly. You've been digging. My blood went cold. He stepped closer, lowering his voice. I know you've been asking questions. Visiting hospitals. Talking to my sister. I swallowed hard. I just wanted to understand what happened. He leaned in. What happened was natural. But you're turning it into something ugly. Stop before you make a mistake you can't undo. His tone was calm, but his eyes burned with threat. He turned to leave, then stopped at the door. One more thing, he said, smiling faintly. Be careful who you trust. The door clicked shut behind him. I locked it, shaking. Then I noticed something on my kitchen counter. Phone. Not mine. Daniel's. He must have left it there on purpose. The screen lit up suddenly with a new message. From unknown. Is it done? I stared at it, my pulse thundering. Who were they talking to? What was it? I took a photo of the message before turning the phone off. It was clear now. Daniel wasn't working alone. There were others. I needed to finish this. For Grace. For Melissa. For myself. The next morning I called Melissa again. We have to go public, I said. We have the video, the records, everything. Her voice trembled through the phone. He won't stop, you know that. He'll destroy us first. Then we stop him before he gets the chance. I didn't know it yet, but that decision was going to change everything. I met Melissa at dawn. The air was cold, heavy with fog. We parked near the old mansion, Grace's house. The place looked dead, but a few lights still glowed upstairs. We'd agreed. Tonight we'd expose everything. Melissa brought the backup drives. I brought Daniel's phone. Inside it, dozens of messages, payments, deleted emails, even voice notes. Enough to destroy him. We walked up the steps slowly. Each one creaked, like it remembered every secret this house ever held. Melissa unlocked the side door with trembling hands. The air smelled like dust and expensive lies. We crept toward the study. Grace's study. The same room where I found the flash drive. That's when we heard it. Faint noise. Like a chair scraping against wood. Daniel's voice. I know you're here. Melissa froze. He stepped out from the shadows, calm as ever, a gun in his hand. So predictable, he said. Always playing the hero. Always thinking you can fix what isn't yours. I swallowed hard. What did you do to her, Daniel? He smiled faintly. I gave her peace. Melissa screamed, lunging at him. He pushed her back easily, pointing the gun now at me. Mom was losing it, he said. You didn't see her in those last weeks. Paranoid, hallucinating, rewriting her will every other day. She wasn't the woman you knew. She was gone. That's not true, I said. She trusted me. She recorded everything. His eyes flickered. So you did find it. Silence. He took a step closer. Give me the drives. I shook my head. He raised the gun higher. And then a voice. Faint. Electronic. From the speaker on the desk. Grace. You always were a liar, Daniel. He froze. Melissa looked at me, terrified. I hadn't pressed play. No one had. The screen on the desk flickered to life. Grace's face appeared, pale, shaky, alive. If you're hearing this, she said, then you tried to destroy me and failed. Daniel's hand trembled. How? He started. Grace's voice grew stronger. You thought killing me would erase your shame. But I sent everything before you touched my phone. Every document. Every signature you forged. Every word you said. Daniel backed away slowly. This is a trick, he muttered. Melissa stepped forward. No, Daniel. It's over. He turned the gun toward her. Stay back. Before he could pull the trigger, flashing lights filled the windows. Sirens. Police. They stormed in, shouting. Daniel dropped the gun, shaking, screaming that it was all a lie. But it was too late. They handcuffed him, dragged him out as he shouted, You'll regret this. You'll regret. The door slammed. And just like that, the house was quiet again. Weeks passed. Grace's case made national news. The headlines read, Millionaire's son arrested after faking mother's death. Melissa moved away, trying to start over. Stayed. Someone had to keep Grace's memory alive. But something still didn't feel right. One night I got home and saw a letter on my doorstep. No return address. Just my name in Grace's handwriting. Inside a single flash drive. No note. My heart pounded as I plugged it in. Video opened. Grainy. Timestamped 2 days after Daniel's arrest. The footage showed a hospital room. White walls. Soft beeping. Then a hand moved. A woman's hand. Grace's. She turned her head slowly toward the camera, her voice weak but clear. If you're seeing this, she whispered, then you know the truth. But there's something you don't know. Someone else helped him. The screen glitched, freezing on her face. Then the file cut out completely. I sat there, staring at the dark monitor. Someone else helped him. But who? My phone buzzed. Unknown number. One new message. You did well. But it's not over. Attached, a short video clip. Grace. Live. Walking through a clinic hallway. I dropped the phone. My blood ran cold. Grace was alive. Or, someone wanted me to believe she was. The screen lit up again with one final line of text. Don't believe what you buried. I stared into the dark, the sound of rain starting again outside. For a moment I almost heard her laugh. Soft, distant, familiar. Maybe she really was out there. Maybe she'd escaped. Or maybe this was something darker. Something unfinished. Either way, I wasn't done. Not until I knew everything. Because some ghosts don't haunt you to scare you. They haunt you to warn you.